Hey guys, Anthony here. It is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. In this video, I want to review a terror incident or terror attack that happened back in 2008, in November of 2008, in Mumbai, India. And I want to review it, and I'll attach the link to the video that I watched. It's a 48-minute video that goes over the entire scope of the attacks. It reenacts some things and it shows a lot of the original footage also. And so, with that, after hearing recent interviews on different podcasts in Twitter and YouTube, etc., like the Sean Ryan Show and other shows like it, and listening to some of the contributors to those shows, they had mentioned, or was stated that if we were attacked, if and when we were attacked, which they're saying we will be attacked by terrorists in the near future in America, on our soil. And it will more than likely be something similar to the Mumbai attacks that occurred November 26, 2008, and they ended in the morning of the 29th of November in 2008. So, 3 full days of attacks and fighting back. And so this happened in Mumbai, India. The operation that it was called by the Indian forces that responded to it was called Operation Black Tornado. Their main special forces unit, called the National Security Guard, or NSG, are called India's Black Cats, and that's because they wear, an all black type uniform. The terrorists, I guess, came over initially via, they hijacked a fishing boat. They came in by sea, by the water, to that area. If you can look on the map, you'll see that it's close to the water. And their main goal was to target Westerners, to inflict as much damage as they could, and high profile people. So Westerners, people traveling there, Americans, Europeans, etc. And so what they did in this attack is they hit multiple locations. So the locations that they hit were, number one, I believe it was the Leopold Cafe, where they were 2 gunmen that showed up, I believe, using AK-47, shooting patrons at that cafe. Next was other gunmen at the Central Railway Station called the Victoria Terminus. And at that location, 58 people, I believe, were killed and 104 injured. It's like a train station, like Grand Central Station, Penn Station in New York. These terrorists were mobile. They were heavily armed with their rifles, grenades, ammunition, reloads, etc. And so they were meant to inflict maximum damage. Now think about, when I'm mentioning these places, think about America, how we are set up. They also attacked a hospital called CAMA, C-A-M-A hospital. They attacked a police station. These are all attacks going on in and around this area, this location. They left bombs in taxi cabs, so like remote devices in taxi cabs that were going off around the city. So they were creating diversions, panic all over, all these attacks going on. So it probably looked like, or it did look like, a much larger force than what was actually happening, was, taking over the city, attacking the city. At that point in 2008, Twitter was just getting underway, I guess, getting popular. And it became, from this actual terror incident, Twitter was it basically became like a hub of information because people were posting live on Twitter and people were going to Twitter to find out what was going on. I remember that distinctively being talked about. The Black Cats were 1,000 kilometers away in Delhi, India, awaiting orders to respond. So by the time they received their order, their go order, they had to, kit up, gear up, whatever they did, and take 3 hours to get to where they were going. So in the meantime, you had only local police, which were not very well equipped to fight, the type of fight that was coming. And you had a small contingent of some kind of naval commandos who were not very effective either, but at least they were there and could supply some assistance. So three other locations that were targeted were the Oberaj Trident Hotel, which has over 500 rooms. These are very opulent hotels. And the Taj Palace Hotel, the most opulent in Mumbai. It's a great landmark in India. And that has 564 rooms and 44 suites. So the terrorists went in and were going floor to floor, room to room, shooting people, starting fires, etc. So just think of that type of scenario when you've got, up to 800 guests between the two hotels actively staying at these hotels, and then people walking in with automatic weapons, grenades, lighting fires. What type of, havoc that could wreak on the areas. And then there was the one other area called the Chabad House. It was a Jewish location within the city where Jewish people could go and pray, eat kosher food, celebrate different, if they were visiting the area at the Chabad House, they could, celebrate whatever was going on at that time period, like Passover, stuff like that. Those are usually run by a rabbi and his wife. At this location, this location was attacked. The rabbi, his pregnant wife, were killed. Hostages were taken, I believe 4. So you had all these areas attacked, and now the Black Cats have to respond. And it was stated in the video, and I remember now, as my memory's refreshed, the handlers of the terrorists were watching the event unfold on media and also communicating via cell phone with the terrorists on the ground and telling them and exchanging information. So the Indian surveillance picked some of that chatter up, and was able to use it to gauge, what they were up against. But initially, they didn't know how many they were up against, what they were going to face when they got there. So these Black Cats, 200 troops of them were deployed. And it was said that it was Lashkar eTaiba was the terrorist organization, I believe is how you say it, from Pakistan. Kashmir was mentioned, but they were based in Pakistan, well-trained for this event, well-rehearsed. They knew the hotel, the Taj Hotel, better than the Indian Black Cats, the troops that were sent, the NSG troops, were not able to get schematics and floor plans, etc. They had to go by, brochures that they had that didn't give a lot of information. So the terrorists knew the ground or the layout much better than the people that were trying to, stop this. So let's see what else we got. So at the end of the day, you had 30 hours of fighting, straight fighting from the Black Cats. It ended on the 29th, so you're looking at from the 26th to the 29th, this attack went on. It ended in all the terrorists being killed. think there were 10 overall, all being killed except one. I think the one survivor was tried and executed later on, several years later. Um, and you had 174 people killed in this event and over 300 injured in this event. And so I'll put the link in the description box for you guys to watch it. But I would suggest that you watch this video or the others like it, and then say to yourself, if this happens or when it happens here in America, the same exact scenario could play out. Terrorists could be targeting schools, hospitals, restaurants, shopping malls, crowded venues, city areas where there's people, doing different events and eating dinner and, celebrating something. Just a lot of activity going on. And think about people walking in or terrorists. You don't need many, small man, 3, 4, 5, 6-man teams spread around the country, because they're saying there's thousands of terrorists here in our country now. And with those thousands of terrorists, can be broken up and scattered to every major city or venues in different cities, and then given the order to start attacking. Think of the, number one, the surprise attack that would bring, the death toll that would bring, especially if these guys are willing to die like they were in India, and like they are in most terrorist attacks. Think about automatic weapons, grenades. We're talking shoulder-fired missiles, maybe. We don't know. Things that were smuggled in this country. Landmines or traps of some type planted, bombs planted. Maybe some type of biological or some type of other things being deployed to make people sick, like a gas or something, to make people choke and then, die. Think of how the first responders would react. And when they showed up, maybe another team would be ready to kill them. And so that's what they talked about in these podcasts. So this would mean major, major upheaval in this country. That would be a major attack unlike anything we've ever seen. And it wouldn't take a lot of forces to do it. And it's been told to us that these forces are already trained. They're already deployed here, awaiting orders. So where does that leave us as citizens? We want to live our lives, of course. But now as preppers or just people vigilant and want to protect their families, whenever we go out and about, moving forward into 2025, you and I have to be prepared. If we are out on the streets, in the city, in an event, we have to go. We can't just hunker down at home all the time. Many of us have to go out to different venues, or we could limit that. And if you are going to go, are you going to be prepared to defend yourself, your family, or be able to get out, have an exit, a quick exit? So these are all things we have to be thinking as 2025 moves along, because it is my feeling that something like Mumbai will indeed happen here in cities across the country. And so that's what I wanted to do this video, get it posted and just get people thinking, just get your wheelhouse turning, how you're going to react. And if you don't have to go out and you don't have to go to big venues, don't. Stay local. Stay local. It's in your small town or in your area where you know best, where there's maybe not a lot of people. But again, they can bring it to small town USA as well, just to inflict that much more damage and fear. That could happen as well. So don't think you're safe just because you're in a small town either. It could happen in your restaurant or grocery store or school. Like today, something happened in Tennessee. I'm hearing one student shot in Nashville, three people shot, the gunman killed, the student, whoever did it, shot themselves, but there's one student that is dead, they're saying. So these types of things can happen in many areas at one time by people that want to upset our way of life. And they have been brought in here by the thousands, by the millions. Just how many of them have evil intentions? We don't know, but if you do the math, there's many thousands possibly that can do harm to us or would want to do harm to us, and that's a real danger to our country because it wouldn't take a lot to do a huge amount of damage. So stay ready, stay prepared, continue to put a plan together when you're traveling, when you're on the road. Have backup to your backup. Rehearse in your head what you're going to do. Don't depend on the police to save you. Things like that. You have to think out of the box. Think about people wanting to kill you that are willing to die to do it. And so they'll go to any means necessary to do it. So you have to be that much more ruthless if you're caught up in something like that in order to survive or get out of the line of fire. So thanks for watching. Take care. I'll put the link in the description box. Anthony signing off. Stay ready.